On this episode of DC On Screen, Justice League is rated R. The shock, the horror, And we've got Steppenwolf smashing ponies. Shazadam is a thing, and it isn't. And the Arrowverse is alive and well. Sorry, naysayers. Which, by the way, that's what the poor little gallop-gallop Steppenwolf smash said. Nay! I'm a terrible human being. All that and more after these words from our corporate overlords. Welcome into DC On Screen episode 626. This is the podcast where we talk about the DC Comics multiverse on film and television, give honest opinions on projects upcoming and past, and believe that every version of a property is valid, even if we don't want it to be. If it has been released, it is fair game, so beware of spoilers, and welcome to the show. I'm David C. Robertson, and this, the man who finger-blasted hollowed out pickles until he was old enough to realize what his dick was for, Jason Goss.
It was a confusing time, but my fingers know so much.
I felt dirty writing that.
And I hope I made it worse.
You didn't. You didn't. I had forgotten what I wrote, and then as I was reading it, I went, I'm about to say finger-blasted hollowed out pickles.
And your tongue just kept fucking flopping around like nothing was going to happen.
Yeah, no. I committed. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, thank you to the patrons. $1 a month gets you every episode, every normal episode ad-free. $5 a month, though, gets you that, plus whatever else we decide to put up. And, you know, we just recorded like an hour and 40 minutes, which will be cut down a little bit. But, you know,
substantially.
There was like a segment there where you had to go put the
2 minutes and 30 seconds by the time we're done.
Well, you know, maybe a little more. But
somewhere between those two figures.
We just recorded a Patreon episode, where you basically you reviewed the Power Rangers movie,
right?
And then I reviewed what was it, Death Note,
right? Yeah.
But mostly we talked about Power Rangers and how it compared to the original series. I've never seen the movie, so. But I do have, for whatever reason, seemingly intimate knowledge of the of the show.
Approximate knowledge.
Yeah, a little more than approximate knowledge.
I think it's way more than approximate knowledge.
It's way more than approximate knowledge of the show up to and including segments of Lost Galaxy.
It was passingly scholastic.
I love that. I love that. Passingly scholastic. I dig it. Whew. So yeah, if you want to hear that, we've been killing it on the Patreon front, and I'm actually pretty proud of us. So there's that. If you don't want to deal with Patreon though, or if you already do and you want to help us out more, you can go to dconscreen.com and click the donate button. And if you want to support the show and get some swag for it, you can check out our merch store. It is linked on dconscreen.com right next to the donate button. It says store, and I'm told all classic shirts will be on sale for $13, and everything else will be up to 35% off on February 10th through the 12th. So yeah, go check that out. Get a little bit of a discount. And you can also always leave that 5-star written review on Apple Podcasts, and that helps us, and that is free. And then we'll read your review, and if you reference the Beatles enough in it, Jason will clap.
Mm-hmm. Wholeheartedly.
So this is not a normal episode, I don't feel like, because there's not that much damn news, but we may have talked ourselves out on our Patreon, so I don't know what's going to happen here.
It's going to be a solid we'll see kind of episode.
A solid we'll see. As always, we're going to start off with Zack Snyder's Justice League. This is the newest thing that's about to come out. The newest, oldest thing. And we've got a rating. And everyone was shocked. Everyone was, oh my God, how could it be? Everyone who follows this shit, we knew it was going to be R.
Yeah.
Zack had said it was going to be R. It's rated R for violence and some language, I guess. And, I don't care. Every time one of these superhero movies shows up with an R rating, there's a bunch of jackwagons on Twitter going like, I guess I'll just have to explain to my 2 loving children why they can't watch the latest Batman movie because someone has to be edgy.
Yeah.
Dude, you got like a million Batman things to watch
There are so many
if you have a kid.
You could not possibly run out of material in your day to show parts of the DC universe that are perfectly within your child rearing aspirations. You will not run out of that material. You'll be fine.
Also,
not everything has to be within those, though.
If they're so young they can't handle some violence and Batman dropping the F-bomb, then they'll probably believe you if you just, given all the marketing, if you just play the theatrical Justice League with the color turned off.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then when they get old enough, you can say, oh, by the way, here's the real 4-hour thing. That's nothing at all like this theatrical thing. And then they'll be like, oh, okay, thanks for lying to me all these years and trying to shelter me.
Right.
You piece of shit.
Just do what our parents did. Watch it beforehand. Write down the times of the egregious moments.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Claim.
My parents did that, yeah.
Claim that the VHS stopped working during those times, or that dinner was ready and you had to come right now.
Mm-hmm.
And then skip those moments. And then carry on about your day until they're like 13 or 14, and you're going to be like, okay, so I didn't show you about 20 minutes of this movie.
Mm-hmm.
And I know you watched it when you were 9 years old at somebody else's house.
That's very true, too.
But I feel like we should watch it together now so I can give it context that you've already given it, by the way, because you're a grown fucking adult that's not quite an adult yet, but the adult part will be the majority of your life, so we should probably pay more attention to that than the child part. And we're going to just discuss this as adults, even though you've already consumed it, and I was not there for you to consume it to begin with, because I had some moral objections to the thing.
You know, what's funny is, you know, I grew up in a pretty uneven household, like very conservative Christian, but also like a fair amount of fuck it involved.
I like that phrasing.
And it was,
I dig it.
I did too. But you know, the thing is, it's just like, it was just like whenever it suited them, they're very Christian.
Just bend the rules for a couple hours here and there.
Well, like we go to the video store, I want to get a thing, and my mom looks at it. She doesn't know anything about it. I'm looking at the case. It says PG-13. I can see written on there, right there, where what is PG-13 for? She's like, yes, I heard that one's got naked ladies in it. It's got half naked women in it. Okay. I mean, you can't argue with that. You're a kid. You're like, well, that's weird. They say here on the case that it doesn't have any of that. Okay.
But there's one ass cheek somewhere.
They're lying. They just want people to watch it. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I mean, I guess. I mean, that seems like that would be against the law or something, but okay.
Yeah.
You know, and then, but there
some
are all
unaccountable agenda that.
Yeah. All this moral objection, like, oh, it's R-rated because it's got drug use and brief nudity. Yeah, we're not doing that. And then, but when my mom was like, we got to watch The Shining. Time for me to drink and watch The Shining with you. And I'm like, that's rated R, Mom.
That's deeply like, more horrifying than anything you thought I shouldn't have seen before.
It's fine. I watched it when I was a kid.
But
hey, look at this naked lady get up out of the
area, though. Like that was hugely a part of our upbringing, was the Satanic Panic. So like that was, you know, on the one hand, it was like, oh, they're sneaking things in. On the other hand, it was like, we can watch The Shining together. They're just ghosts.
Right.
It's all good.
Yeah, that little kid, he's saying red rum. You know what that is, don't you? It's murder backwards. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
Now look at this naked lady. Look at this naked lady get out of the tub. No, don't look away. Don't look away, because now, she's all hacked up and bloody. Like, why was that a thing you wanted me to see? Oh,
we're going to watch The Omen. Literally the son of Satan.
Right.
But that's not a problem. But okay. But we can't. But I have to watch Top Gun from the hallway after I snuck out of my bedroom one night. Okay. So that's how we're rolling. Gotcha.
Right.
I'm just going to literally watch it in silence and then sneak back into my bedroom when I knew the movie was concluding after I knew roughly how it ended.
Right. Okay. So to be clear, you guys are going to let me stay up and watch Married with Children, where Al Bundy is objectifying women in bikinis who are bouncing in front of him and talking about greasy hooters.
Yeah.
But you will not let me see Emilio Estevez's obviously fake ass cheek in the moonlight in National Lampoon's Loaded Weapon 1.
Devil's work.
Gotcha.
Devil's work. It was a very confusing time, man. It really was.
It was. So yeah, just know if you're one of these parents who are out there, and I don't think we have any, but if you're one of these parents who are just crying and gnashing your teeth over the fact that your kid is, not going to be able to watch a Batman movie because it's rated R, that is your choice.
Mm-hmm.
And two, he or she will be lying to you and watching R-rated movies at their friends' houses or on their iPads or whatever, what have you, behind your back because they won't feel that they can trust you.
Yeah, on an average
Moving
of 2 to 3 years earlier than you expect.
Yep.
Like this is happening. Address it or don't. But you can't just go cry in the corner. You got to do something.
No. I mean, I speak from experience. Yeah, I was 13 watching all the Kevin Smith movies at my friend's house.
Yeah,
all of the Scream movies.
Yeah,
just because asshole parents.
Yeah. I did that. I became an expert at sneaking around.
You don't even have to sneak. You just do it.
Yeah. I didn't have to so much. I found that it was easier to just subvert what I was, or obfuscate my plan rather than defend my position. Let's put it that way.
Mm-hmm.
Far easier.
And to be clear, I know this isn't true of everyone. It's certainly not true of my wife. She didn't have this kind of experience. But I'll tell you this. I didn't hear anything in those movies, any of those Kevin Smith movies or any of those Scream movies. I didn't hear anything, and I wasn't exposed to anything that I had not been exposed to listening to my parents or at church.
Also possible.
Now, my wife, though, on the other hand, she grew up in Christian school. She grew up in church and everything. And she had never heard most of that shit. So there's still things to this day where I'll mention it. She'd be like, what is that? And I'm like, oh, you don't know what that is? Oh, well, tonight's going to be fun. I'm going to get to explain this. But it is, you never know.
I mean, few minutes.
I guess you can have
Settle successfully grab that pillow.
You can successfully have an incredibly sheltered child.
Mm-hmm.
But most of the time, I think they're going to wind up like me, just watching shit behind your back.
Yep. So our opinion apparently on this is roughly, your children are going to experience more than you think they will, and I guess what we're suggesting is that you lean into that rather than against it, and as it affects the Snyder Cut, come on.
Mm-hmm.
The objections that the comic books are supposed to be for kids.
Also,
this one's not for you, man. Go fuck off. It's
absolutely,
fine.
Absolutely.
There's
and
7.5 billion people on this planet right now, and not everything's going to be for everyone, man. It's just it's okay.
And I can't believe we're still even having this conversation all these years. After The Crow, after Spawn, the movie, 2 Deadpool movies,
both of which I think I watched with my parents.
Logan,
in that same living room.
The director's cut of Daredevil. I mean, how many R-rated comic book movies are we going to have before people go superheroes are for kids? Shut up.
I know. Look, there's a way to do it where it is for kids, and that has its own merits, and God bless it. Those are
sure.
I normally love those films when I see them too.
And I keep hearing that MCU is going to do a proper R-rated Deadpool 3, and I just can't wait because I'm going to hear all the same arguments. I can't believe they're doing that. I remember going to see Deadpool and seeing parents get up and angrily walk out. I can't believe this. I'm like, did you not look at the marquee? Did you not do any kind of research?
I watched Deadpool and I sat there next to 11-year-olds who were laughing their dicks off and having a great time.
As look, 11-year-olds, they're on YouTube, man. Their favorite YouTubers say dirtier shit than Deadpool does.
Yeah.
Look up Jake Paul and Logan Paul. Those assholes do way worse.
Yeah.
Anyway.
All right. So the point is that this is an absurd objection.
An absurd objection. And Zack's already said what it was going to be. His Ultimate Edition of BVS was R-rated. I don't know why anyone thought Justice League, the Snyder Cut, was going to be
this should not have been a surprise. No.
I just get over it or go watch Justice League again, I guess. I don't know. It's fine.
So much else out in the world for you. It's okay if this exists too.
Including a squeaky clean version of this thing that was in theaters 4 years ago. God.
Yeah.
Go enjoy.
With enough traction, if it gets a PG-13 version that's released, that would be a little bit absurd, but not entirely crazy. Like, oh no, here's the children's cut. The Snyder cut.
I don't. I mean, if they want to, I don't give a shit. I won't watch it, but we're not going to do a separate review for that.
No.
We do have a new look at Ben Affleck's Knightmare Batman.
Here's the explain it to your children cut. Sorry.
No, it's fine. That just reminds me of that. Several years ago, there was a Star Trek: The Next Generation porn parody.
There always is.
What was special about this one is it actually got written up on Star Trek sites.
Nice.
And it actually made me download it.
Nice.
Because they were like, look, here's the thing. You can watch the porn parody, but you can also watch the party version that has all the porn scenes cut out. Because, damn it, this is actually a really good story. And like, I wound up doing that and downloading the party version because I don't give a shit about porn. It's stupid. But
I have to fully admit, I would download the porn version too and watch them back to back just to be like, okay, but editing wise,
what happened was like you could tell what the scenes were, like what they were about to be.
Yeah.
And it would cut away like a normal TV show would. So
gotcha. Okay.
Either that or omit it completely, like in the scene between.
Right. Again, full disclosure, I would still go back and watch that to verify. Just not after you having told me that. I would just do it because I would be curious.
Yeah, but they actually got like a guy who went around and did a lot of appearances as a fake Picard at conventions and stuff to play Picard.
Nice.
And I mean, it was unofficial, but they were picking up like abandoned story threads and shit from the original from the actual show. They were like following up on stuff. They were deepening characters. Yeah. Oh my God, they were doing such a good job. I was just sitting there going like, God, I wish this was canon.
That's solid.
Yeah,
that's not even like horny on Maine. It's just.
And apparently these guys were just real fans. They were just like, oh man, this would be great. Like, we're just going to make what we would want to see in a Next Generation movie, but throw in porn because that's what's paying the bills.
Solid. Like, these guys were tasked to write a porn and they did that job. But in the white space of them being given just all the options in the world to how to get to the fact that people were going to bone. Yeah. They decided, you know, we can do some things here.
What was funny is I even saw like people porn fans complaining that there were not legitimate reasons for the characters to bone in this movie because they had spent too much time on the actual story. It was the correct way around.
All right, that's super funny. Like, you know, I mean, like the main concern with porn normally is it's just like, oh, you know, some delivery guy shows up and, you know, somebody's already horny and they, you know, drop pull a piece of cloth down and reveal something and we're boning now.
Right.
Their concern was that there was too much thought applied to why people would be fucking. That's fantastic.
Yeah. Anyway.
It just doesn't make sense to me. I felt like they should have been fucking before now. Well, what you don't understand is there's a couple thousand years of, you know, animosity between these two groups, and these two were together for a certain reason, and you know that's why the sexual tension was so high between these two. They should be fucking now.
Right.
Okay. Well, we're gonna get to that. If you just give me about like 45 seconds, we're gonna get to the okay. They're already to the fucking. While I was trying to explain it, they're already fucking now.
I'm reminded of the scene from Ash vs. Evil Dead where Ash says, "Sounds to me like there's too much yakking, not enough action."
Of course.
So yeah, we got this new look at Affleck as Knightmare Batman going down a hallway. We've got a clip of the black suit Superman suit where he goes to meet Alfred. We've got that re-released in HD.
Right.
We have the football clip that he released with Victor on the football field playing. Gorgeous shots. I don't know what any of it means because I don't know about football.
I do know as a fan, and they were gorgeous shots.
Yep. And Snyder says on the goal line, trailer drops 2/14/21, 9:14 a.m. PST. So we have a trailer time. We have a trailer date. That's more than we've had. What are we thinking about these clips? Just gorgeous shit, right?
Yeah, just gorgeous shit. Yeah, I have nothing much to add at this moment, other than that they obviously look fantastic, and you know, I'm waiting for more, as so many people are.
Absolutely. Now, I feel like I have to set this up a little bit. As established on Twitter in a conversation between ourselves, Pud333, Ryan Hulsman, and Effie Ophelders of Stealing the Remote, involving the kindergarten cop scene, who is your daddy and what does he do? It has been established that Effie, despite being a lesbian woman, is our daddy.
Right. Well, that was in reference to me establishing that you're my daddy.
Yes. Yeah. And
which was awkward, and we all hate that happened, but you know, it was a fun conversation at least.
But Effie wanted to know if she could still be our daddy as a lesbian woman because she's severely uncomfortable with mommy, and of course we acquiesced to that demand.
Oh, naturally.
So Effie says,
as I expressed, that it's more of a state of mind than anything tangible. So absolutely,
yeah,
she is now our daddy.
Absolutely. So Effie says, "Yo, it's your daddy. What do you want to see from the Justice League trailer?"
Still cracks me up. That's sorry. I regret nothing. I regret nothing from my awkward comment that was a whim.
No, it all worked out.
It has made more fun for me than I expected.
She says, "What do you want to see from Zack Snyder's Justice League trailer, and what should they definitely not spoil until the movie drops?"
You know, what I want from it is just a rough idea of, if it's a 4-hour thing. So, Act 1, 2, 3 is not a relevant story structure, but Act 1 and some idea of the catalyst and tension, that's more what I want. I don't want anything about the resolution. We're going to have that, and it's going to be here before we know it. We're literally at, it's February 8th right now. I mean, we're just a month and a week away. Like we're not so far away that I have to have this right now. Just a little bit of idea of what we're going to be breaking apart hero wise.
Yeah.
That'll do for me. I'll be very happy with that.
I don't necessarily care about spoilers here. Unless there's if there's some big reveal that hasn't come out, but I've got a bunch of shit in my head banging around.
From even just saying that, there's some possibility, but
yeah, possibly. But like I said, I've got a bunch of shit banging around from that the directors summit that Zack did, and so I've got ideas of what this movie is anyway,
right?
And expectations for it. So I don't feel like I would necessarily be very spoiled, but at the same time, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's been a while since that happened, and I don't retain shit. So
those neurons have been demolished by now. I mean,
I'll tell you what I do want to see in the trailer. I want to see Martian Manhunter.
He was teased pretty heavily here recently, so that would make me very happy.
What I don't want to see, if it is true, and I don't know if it's been kiboshed or what. I know it was heavily hinted at, and my sources said it was going to be a thing. And if Ryan Reynolds is actually Green Lantern, I don't want to know about it yet. I don't know, but I don't want to know about it yet.
Enjoy that surprise myself, just to have it there. But that's kind of the fun part, is like we've waited so long for that 4 hours. So whatever's going to be a surprise, let it be a surprise. That's what I'm saying. Like just everything that we've seen so far, even just let it be what it's going to be.
Yeah.
Whisper words of wisdom kind of thing. Just it'll
you and your Beatles, man. Son of a bitch.
Yeah, I can help myself. It'll happen when it happens. We're not far away. I don't have to have everything right now. I'm good. I can hang back. I'm probably gonna take the day off and watch it. Mostly because I just don't know how I can functionally fit 4 hours into my current schedule without actively taking some time to do so.
Yeah, I'm going to have to reschedule something because I've got work on that Thursday and I'm going to have to move that around.
Yeah.
Because Justice League is happening.
Yeah, I get it.
Giuseppe over on Twitter says, how long do you guys think this upcoming Justice League trailer will be? Do you want another trailer like the Hallelujah one? Or do you want some dialogue in there? More than just the very last bit of it. I
2 minutes.
I'd be okay with 4 minutes since it's a 4-hour movie.
I'm good with that. I'm just I would also be okay with the 2 minute, hey man, we'll see what we get kind of thing. and we're just so fucking close. It's all about to be there. I'll be okay.
Yeah.
I'll be okay with
Absolutely.
a couple minutes and only 60 seconds worth of new footage will do me just fine.
Yeah, I'd be okay with that. I don't.
My appetite at this point could not be more wet. I'm not lacking in hydration there.
Yeah, I don't know that I even want another trailer. I don't. Part of me doesn't. Part of me just wants to see the damn thing at this point. And
I mean,
I'll
honestly, if it was
trailer
out tomorrow, I'd just have to call my bosses and be like, well, I'm just not going to be there.
Right. Something came up. Family emergency.
Yep.
God, I don't know, man. I don't know. Like, I don't know what I would be down to see whatever Zack wanted to do. That's all, honestly my answer. And I would have never guessed that the Hallelujah trailer would have been so cool to me. And, you know, that song got stuck in my head for like 2 months. Yeah. And
and it is like that he is the progenitor of that song, but it's such a powerful song.
Mm-hmm.
It is a deeply powerful song to have picked for this set of material in particular. Man, it's like, even as I've said before, when like if I'm thinking about this trailer for too long, it eventually morphs into other versions of Hallelujah. Shit, man, it's still good. I'm still really happy with where my brain is at the time.
Yeah. Snyder's got like really good choices of music, and I'm down with whatever he does, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
I've weaned myself from expectation, because when I had expectations for how things should go, I didn't like Snyder as much. And since I've, gotten my head, my ass off my shoulders, basically, or my head out of my ass, I've kind of been able to enjoy everything that he did prior. I feel like I should have been more on board with Man of Steel all those years ago. And
I think it'd still be a fun space for you and I to revisit.
I think we should. I absolutely do. I've been itching to watch all of that stuff again.
I'm down.
Henry Cooper over on Twitter says, "Did you see that Steppenwolf clip? Like, damn." So yeah, Zack released a man.
Yeah, I know what he's talking about.
Son of a bitch, just like this Steppenwolf clip, and it was just like a steady pan in, like a zoom in to an editing monitor, right. And it's got this clip, this like black and white clip of Steppenwolf just tearing it up with the Amazons,
just tearing it.
I mean, this dude's got like arrows sticking out of his back. It looks like, it's like what Zack was talking about with, I think, Grace Randolph maybe, or Film Junkie or whoever it was, where he said like the armor shifts and like catches the arrows.
Yeah, it adapts and helps him kind of independently of his own reactions.
Yeah, and I mean, he's just murdering people. He's just taking them down, taking them apart.
Yeah. Like literally apart. I mean, you saw the beheading at the end.
Is it a beheading if there's not a head at the at the end of the action?
The conversation that I saw was like, did he just behead this lady? It was like, I'm not sure. I mean, watching it, my take was like, I'm not sure if he beheaded her so much as just removed the idea of the head having ever existed.
Right. And
he obliterated the portion of the anatomy that was a head.
And he did to that horse what freaking Hulk did to Loki in the Avengers.
Oh yeah, just yeeted that bitch.
I feel like that's an album title that needs to happen. Horse yeeting
by King Crimson.
So in response to this clip, though, David Sandberg, who goes by the handle Pony Smasher, responds, "I was already going to see it, but now there's Steppenwolf smashing ponies."
Look, I know some people have not enjoyed the Shazam being a jokey character thing.
Yeah,
but you got to give him credit, man. Dude knows where the joke is, and he goes for it.
Did you see the thing where someone was saying that they didn't want any more jokey comedic Shazam, and he was like,
Oh, the golf version?
Yes, he put out the golf
Yeah.
version. He had like the little upside down cross coming off the eye and everything. And he's like, it's not a face.
It's not a face. Yeah. Yeah, I saw that.
It's so good.
That was good.
Did you actually, I sent you this link. Did you actually get one of those commemorative Zack Snyder Justice League footballs?
Oh, the fuck I did. Yes, absolutely.
They were on Ink to the People. I'll put up a link in the show notes, but yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah, I had to.
Yeah.
I can have it rest somewhere forever, and I don't have to worry about what shirt size I currently fit into.
Yeah, it's one of those things where I would totally get one, except for the fact that I can't walk into my office and see a football. I'll just feel dirty for the rest of my life. It doesn't matter. You can put however many Batman on it. You can put Zack Snyder's dick on it. I don't care. I'm not going to... I'll feel dirty about it for the rest of my time.
I'll feel just fine.
I know you will. That's why I was like, oh, Jason will like this.
I mean, given my actual sports history, like a baseball or a frisbee would have made more sense, but I can get by with a football too. And sure. I think it was Ray Porter. Ray Porter posted somewhere that like, I already got mine. Like, okay, cool. Yeah, no, that's first of all, cool. Second, makes sense. He looks like a big guy. He probably played up to some point.
Yeah. And I'm just sitting here going like, you're going to get a bunch of geeks to buy a football. This feels like a trick.
Oh, it's way past the Ink to the People. You know that like benchmark they have where like, well, we have to have this amount and then we can do it. And then kind of anything Snyder Justice League related gets in and they like, well, we have to have this amount, and then that amount doubles in like 6 hours.
Yeah.
It's way.
They said they needed 300, and it was the last time I checked, which was 3 or 4 hours ago, was that's $5.79.
Yeah.
So they're good. That's it's making it. They're making it.
That'll be all
right. I'm so excited about Snyder Cut though, man. I really am. Like,
oh yeah, me too.
I am more excited than I thought I would reasonably be to see it.
Even given your own proclivities to sometimes,
I get, look, man, when Warner Media does some shit, when Jason Kyler doesn't do what I want him to do, and do the right thing in regards to Ray Fisher, when it turns out Hamada is a piece of shit, when I look up and Jeff Johns is still producing shit, it bums me out, and it tears me down a little bit. But then Zack releases another clip, and my dick gets hard again, and I'm okay. I can weather another storm.
Yeah, it is really nice to see you in this spot where you can have some joy in that matter.
Yeah. So someone asked James Gunn how much Warner Brothers has messed with the Suicide Squad, and James Gunn, as you might have imagined, said Suicide Squad is fully finished and cut, and I made every single choice, and they never once even slightly interfered. They gave very few notes. They were usually good and minor, and I took them if I wanted to and didn't if I didn't want to. Warner's was creatively amazing. I get the feeling that either he's lying, or when he came to the table, he says, you guys are known for doing this shit. I will not sign on unless my contract says I have total creative control.
Yeah. You brought me here for a reason. So either we make that reason, contractual, or I will destroy you in media.
Yeah. I get the feeling that it was probably the latter, but I want to believe it was the latter. Of course, this is
former than the latter, or
I don't want him to be lying. I really want it to be where he just came to. I want it to be the latter, where he came to.
The former. I think you said latter and then latter.
Okay, I don't know.
I think
you've thoroughly confused me. I don't want it to be the former. I want it to be the latter, where he's telling the truth.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And he was just savvy as hell.
Yep.
But
he really did have a lot of bargaining when he got to the table, though.
Yeah, but look, we're a year out from Birds of Prey.
Yep.
And now Kathy Yan has come out and said that they screwed with her movie and wouldn't let her do shit.
Yeah.
So that's a bummer, and we suspected that was the case. We'd heard a lot of reports. So, I don't, and she went out and just fully said like, yeah, I don't think there's a cut. There's not a Kathy Yan cut. I think this shit got the kibosh before there was a cut involved.
I mean, maybe I personally find myself making, I have a knee jerk reaction where I'm like, yeah, but you're a director. You don't always get your cut. And then I find myself considering the last several years and thinking, okay, but that deserves, I don't know, more, we should be taking that more seriously than we did before.
Yeah, it's one thing, like, I feel like I'm of two minds because I want people to have their artistic vision realized.
Sure.
But at the same time, I feel like the owner of the IP should have a say. So, that's why I can go to a Marvel movie or I can go to something like Ant-Man and go, look, I love Edgar Wright, but screw him. His vision didn't fit with what Feige and everybody else wanted.
Yeah.
So, but because to me, it feels look,
always deeply regret that was not a thing, but
right. But at the same time, it's like
they had the right to pull that trigger.
Absolutely. And I feel like it is well known, even to us, that Kevin Feige is the final say.
Yeah. That is the structural setup of how that system works.
If we had something like that at DC, I would side with them.
Yeah. No, we don't right now. I
would say, well, Snyder knew what he was getting into.
Yeah, but that's exactly the problem. We have shuffling personalities at an executive level.
But, we also have Warner Brothers who are so hung up on being the filmmaker's studio, letting filmmakers do what they want. And then
the filmmaker's studio.
Well, it's the hypocrisy, Like they're like, well, unless you're a DC, and then we just say you are, and you got to lie.
Yeah.
But really, we're not letting you. And that's horseshit. Like, either say we're the filmmaker studio unless you're going to do DC, in which case we've got this overlord here.
Yeah.
But see, what was weird is they were unhappy with how much money Man of Steel made, and then they were like, well, let's double down anyway and make Zack Snyder the Kevin Feige because he and Deborah were
halfway through.
Right, like
not even halfway through. Before that,
yeah, he had, but they had Zack and Deborah, plotting the damn course for several movies.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, BVS, even though it made almost $1 billion, they were like, oh, we don't like this critical reception. Well, then maybe you should have, given all the booze and the presents to the, critics like Marvel did.
Yeah. I mean,
I thought we were going to get on the because of the goodwill from Dark Knight. No, that's not how that works.
No. You have to give everyone iPads like everyone else. That's the swag package. They didn't. That was the annoying part. It's not that those movies did badly. It's that they did badly versus some set of expectations that I don't know, man. Like if you say every movie should make $1 billion, shit, man.
That's
what are you
silly.
going to do about that? If you say every movie should double its money, yeah, they all did that.
Yeah. I mean, I remember everybody saying that Ant-Man was a flop because it didn't do $1 billion. And I feel like Kevin Feige just whipped it. He just wagged his dick at him and moved on.
Yeah.
But like Warner Brothers is just like, I don't understand. It's a superhero. It should be making this much money. No, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That's not how it works. Anyway.
It's just not.
Variety put out this report that Henry Cavill will not be appearing in the upcoming Shazam Fury of the Gods as Superman. This comes after weeks of unverified rumors and reports saying that Cavill would, in fact, be appearing.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Variety says multiple sources who are directly connected to the production have revealed the lack of Cavill's involvement. And, Sandberg came out and said, I'm not going to comment on casting rumors for several reasons. One, being you can't be sure about anything until it's happened. Halfway through shooting Shazam, the plan was still for Cavill to be in it. Scoopers could have scooped that and been right at the time, but wrong in the end. Then he says, though I can confirm with 90% certainty that Shazam will appear in Shazam 2. So if you're a fan of that character, you might enjoy Shazam 2.
Nice.
So, that's one of those little things that came up. And it doesn't really matter if he's in it. Of course, I want him to be in it. I like Cavill. I want to see him continue.
Yeah, I'd like to see him reestablished, like, outside of Snyder Cut.
Yeah, sure. Earlier...
His actual face on screen established.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Earlier this week, there was a report from Bleeding Cool that DC Comics was changing the name of Black Adam to Shazadam. Mm-hmm. And IGN reported that sources with direct knowledge of the comic have confirmed that is not happening. Mm-hmm. So, I have had a number of people message me about this. Like, did you see they're changing Black Adam's name? And I was like, no, they're not.
Let's give this a second. Let's hang out on this one.
No, I mean, I already knew. Like, they were quick, man. They were like Johnny on the spot was saying like, nuh-uh. Yeah, what a dumb name.
Yeah.
Suicide Squad spinoff. Oh, actually, that's all of our movie news. Do you want to go to a break?
Oh,
or you just want to power through?
Yeah, let's go to break.
All right, we're gonna go to break. Then we're gonna come back and talk a little bit about TV, and then we're gonna talk about like one or two listener feedbacks and call it a night. All right, we're back. Suicide Squad, the spinoff Peacemaker, has cast Nut Lee as Judo Master. Are you familiar with the Judo Master?
Only vaguely.
Yeah. Okay. So the name has been around since like 1965, but there have been 3 different versions. Mm-hmm. The character was originally Hadley Rip Jagger, a World War II sergeant in the United States Army. Mm-hmm. He was taught the martial art of judo after saving the daughter of a Pacific Island chief. The character was eventually killed by Bane, and a new version came into being in 1994. Judo Master has been affiliated with Law, All-Star Squadron, and the Justice League, and a woman version of the character, who was created in 2007, was also associated with the Birds of Prey. So we don't know which version is going to be, but the version who was in the 6-issue Law comic book series with Peacemaker is a pretty good guess.
Yeah, solid guess.
So yeah, I think it's I like the idea that Gunn is still kind of grabbing at these like just really obscure ass people.
Yeah,
because I mean, do you know how many DC characters I know? Like, my God! Like the other day, I saw a tweet. Someone was like, "Can you name 10 POC superheroes without looking up?" And I was like, 10. I've got like 30 in my head. Off the top of my head, I had at least 30, and that was just DC.
Yeah.
Before I ever, like, I just started, like, I was, like, counting on my fingers. I'm like, I hit 30 before I ever thought, oh, shit, Storm. Like, oh, yeah, there's Marvel, too. Yeah. So, like, the fact that I didn't know Judo Master is just, oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. No, there's plenty out there.
Like, yeah, anyway.
Plenty of opportunity here.
So for the 2021 to 2022 season, CW has renewed The Flash, they have renewed Batwoman, and they have renewed Legends of Tomorrow. And they have added 2 more episodes for Superman and Lois. So much for those theories about the Arrowverse going away.
Yeah. Change substantially? Sure. Going away?
Yeah. Goodbye, Black Lightning. Goodbye, Supergirl. Hello, Superman and Lois. Mm-hmm. Hello, more Legends of Tomorrow, oddly enough. God, I just never would have thought.
Of all the things that have survived this long.
I'm here for it, though. It's wound up becoming one of my favorites.
I know. And of all things, you were super hesitant about that show for so long.
Yep. So Superman and Lois they're actually going to do an encore of the premiere on TNT.
Yep.
And that's going to be on Saturday, February 27th at 9 p.m. Eastern Pacific. And in the afternoon, leading up to that encore airing of the episode, they're just going to do like a DC marathon. They're going to have Suicide Squad at 1 p.m. They're going to have Man of Steel at 3:30, Justice League, the theatrical cut at 6:30, and then Superman and Lois at 9 p.m. Mm-hmm. So that is and then they're immediately after that, they're going to have a brand new special, Superman and Lois Legacy of Hope, which will take fans behind the scenes with sneak peeks and interviews from the cast of the new series, plus special guests discussing the legacy of the Man of Steel. So that's like a whole lot. Like, even for people who hate Justice League, that's a lot. You can just skip that, go take a piss break for a few hours, and then come back and watch the premiere.
Yeah.
Or skip that too, eat a meal, then come back and watch the special feature that'll most likely be on a Blu-ray release.
Right. In case you were just like at home.
Yeah. I mean, I'm always at home.
This could be your afternoon. It doesn't sound like a bad one, frankly.
Honestly, even with the theatrical cut of Justice League, it doesn't sound like that bad of an afternoon.
Yeah, it's still fine. I mean, it's still good.
I've been to some family gatherings. I would much rather be watching Justice League at home.
Yeah, if of the options, Justice League theater cut versus family gathering, yeah, for sure.
Certain family gatherings, some are great. Much rather do that.
For me, most. I'm just gonna go with most.
I know,
without detail.
I know. Justice Society World War II is going to be released digitally on April 27th, 2021. Mm-hmm. And then on the 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray combo and Blu-ray on May 11th, 2021.
Sweet.
So, there's that. And they also have a DC Showcase short featuring Kamandi, the Last Boy. That's a character I've always wanted to like, but never have.
I couldn't have put it on myself. Yeah. No,
I've got an action figure of the guy. I feel like Batman the Brave and the Bold was the best case it ever had for getting me on board.
That was at least a very enticing version of the character, for sure.
Yeah. Now, let's see. We've got J. Scotty St. Clair. He's got a question for us. He says, when do you expect we'll get more info on the Aquaman King of Atlantis 3-part animated series James Wan is developing for HBO Max? Any hopes and or expectations for the series as far as animation style influences or characters to be featured? The silence is deafening.
Yep. Your thoughts?
My thoughts are I don't really care. I had forgotten that it was a thing that was supposed to be happening, much like I had forgotten until I read this and went, oh, wait, there was another Aquaman thing happening.
Yep.
That spinoff movie.
Yeah. Full disclosure, me too.
Yeah, so I had forgotten, and now I'm dismayed because it might actually happen.
I'm not dismayed. I'm just still a little bit at a loss of how I'm supposed to feel about it and what is being approached.
Well, I'm dismayed because is it going to be like... I feel like there's going to be some big canon question. Like, is it going to be in continuity with the DCEU? Will it be canon with Aquaman because James Wan is attached? Or will it be its own, separate thing?
Right.
Is it even still happening? I haven't heard about it until you just brought it up, Jay. I have no idea. I don't know anything about this thing.
Right.
So, it's I don't have any hopes or expectations for the series, except I would like it to be interesting, if at all possible. I would like there to be a reason behind it. I don't want it to be like, this will go between the two Aquaman movies, and then Aquaman 2 winds up shitting on it. Right. Which is what the narrative was with Batman Gotham Knights, or Gotham Knight with which was Christopher Nolan the Nolan brothers working on stories that are between Batman Begins and Dark Knight, and they have all these anime directors coming in and doing shorts, and Kevin Conroy's coming in to be Batman. I'm like, why wouldn't Christian Bale do it if it was in that? Well, whatever. And then you watch it and it's a bunch of just vignettes that have nothing to do with anything.
Right.
And then obviously we get to Dark Knight and it's Nolan has no interest in doing anything with that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was because that was very much billed to be a part of that universe, and then it wasn't. So
yeah.
I don't know what this is. And, as far as animation style, not the animation style they've been using. I don't like that. I'm not a big fan of that Man of Tomorrow, Justice Society World War II animation. I'm just not a big fan of it. I thought at first I liked it when I was seeing the trailers, but then after watching a whole movie in it, I'm just sort of I
haven't seen it.
What, Man of Tomorrow?
Yeah.
It was that one that was that played during Fandom.
Oh, I know. But I haven't actually seen it, so I can't judge.
Yeah.
But it looked like it was economical in a way.
Yeah, it's sort of like a modern version of a Super Friends variation almost.
Yeah.
It felt kind of Johnny Quest.
Had that going for it at least.
Yeah, I don't know.
Not sure. It may hit very differently for me. I just haven't actually seen it. So
I think ironically, like I don't I don't really want like heavy CGI. I don't want it to be like Pixar light. Ironically, I want it to be anime, I think, or closer to anime, even though I just bitched about Gotham Knight.
Right.
The animation was not the problem in Gotham Knight. It was just there was no point to any of it. Ryan Hulsman says, "Who is your daddy and what does he do?"
Jeff, and fixes medical equipment. Also Dave.
Jerry, and he fixes elevator equipment. And as established by that Twitter conversation, Effie is our daddy. And what does she do? She listens to a great podcast called DC On Screen.
Yeah.
And you can find every episode of DC On Screen.
Now that we've officially established.
At DCOnScreen.com.
The hierarchy of that experience. Yeah, no, that works for me. I'm good.
Are you good? You ready to go?
I'm out. I'm good.
You guys have a great night. Have a great week. Whatever you need to have. Have a glass of Chardonnay and some alone time in the bathtub. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. I don't know why water dries it up, but...
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, no judge.
Until next time, keep finger blasting those hollowed out pickles and keep some DC on your screen.
Are we providing the pickles?
I'm not providing pickles.
I'm gonna opt out of pickles.
Our intro music is by Jason Goss and Michael Shackelford. Michael's band, Galactic Engineers of Magnetic Sounds, or GEMS, can be found on SoundCloud and Bandcamp. Visit DCOnScreen.com to find our Patreon, merch, contact information, and every episode of the show for free, including crossovers we've done with other podcasts. DC On Screen is a maladjusted production. For more from me and Jason, including sketch comedy, vlogs, parodies, and our improvised web series Hey Guy, visit maladjusted.tv.